Welcome to Clone Questions Live, episode 26, with me, Paul, your clone coach. We are live every Friday on Instagram. We're going to let everybody join the Instagram right here. If you're watching this on YouTube, we got the full unedited, uncut version right here, full length on YouTube. So if you want to join the lives and ask your questions, you got to join me on Instagram. Get into the chat and get your questions answered. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about mother plants. All right, I want to hear your mother plant questions. Let me get this in the chat here. Welcome to everybody. What's going on, everybody? Mother plant questions. And pick a number, because you know every single week we give away a free copy of the 14-day quick guide from clonecoach.com. It's a little snippet of the full-length Best Clones Ever guide. It's a 14-day protocol to help you get the best clones ever. It also comes with a discount inside there to be used towards the full-length version. And another little note on the full-length version of the Best Clones Ever guide. Now, if you buy the Best Clones Ever guide, I'm going to give you the mother plant guide for free. What I've noticed, the biggest thing with mother plants is that's where it starts, right? You got to have healthy mothers to create healthy clones. But I noticed not everybody was grabbing the mother plant guide, even though it's a crucial part. So I am bundling the mother plant and the clone SOP into one, along with some more additional pieces of content. So it's already live. There's an additional resources page as well with curated product lists, discount codes, a private server, private coaching library from all the coaching calls that I have recorded. I'm uploading those little by little because they're full length, like half hour, 45-minute long coaching calls. So as a team member, you'll have lifetime access to all of the coaching calls as they get, I have a bank of about 25 of them, and I'm recording every week usually. So those will get added. That's a bonus a bonus part of the Best Clones Ever SOP. So new bonuses for the Best Clones Ever SOP from clonecoach.com is you get the free Best Mother Plants Ever guide to get your mother plants in check and maximize your clone production per square foot. You're going to get an additional resources page. You're going to get a private coaching call library, private Discord server, which I'm calling the locker room. You're getting and an additional video, which is like an SOP overview, answering some of the common questions that I've gotten from the SOP. So I did a little walk through the SOP and recorded a video and packaged that into the Best Clones Ever SOP as well. So if you grab that Best Clones Ever SOP now from clonecoach.com, you're getting a lot more value coming at you. So we're going to be talking about a little bit about mother plants. So I want to get your mother plant questions going. And we're going to talk about hemp advertising. I don't know if you guys heard, but a day ago, Meta, which is the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, and now Threads as well, they came out with a policy allowing for advertising of hemp and CBD products. So we're going to review those. We're going to read the policy together. It's like a one-page policy. It's pretty straightforward. I was digging deep to make sure there was no little nuances or anything like that. So we're going to read through that today as well, so you get a better understanding of what is being allowed now. And I figure my understanding is hemp, the plants. One big rule is that you can't have. Well, we'll get into the rules later, but that's what we're getting into today. We're getting into mother plant questions, and we're getting into the advertising of hemp and CBD products on Instagram, Facebook, and Threads. And if we're lucky, we're going to have a guest show up on the live here on Instagram, Trap Jesus. He's trying to make it out. We're going to talk about hemp and CBD and advertising and hemp and CBD businesses and products and selling those things online. He's been doing it for a while. He's had some hiccups. He's had some issues. So he's got some insight. So hopefully he's going to be able to join us today. So if you're in the live, please stay tuned. And, we could see if we could get Trap Jesus in here to help tell us about running a little CBD business, and we could discuss this new policy that Meta has in place. So what's going on, Mo Grown? What's going on, cousin Nikolai? How are you? Let's see here. Everybody's getting their guesses in the chat. I love it. At the end of every episode, we give away a free copy of the quick guide, and that's done in the chat on the Instagram live. So, who else out there has something to burn? If you do, now's the time. See if I get that next to the mic. Get that ASMR of lighting the joint here. So we got some questions in the chat. We're going to get going into these questions here. If you want to join the live chat as well, just shoot me a request to join the live chat. Ask your question in person, show off your garden, what have you. But if you got something to burn, please do it now. All right. So, see here, we got a request. Clone America requesting to join the live. Hell yeah. Oops. It takes a second. There's a little lag usually. But I accepted that, and we should be. There it is.
Oh shit! What's up, dude?
Mike check. How are you, man?
Good. How are you doing?
Excellent, man. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Clone America, you got some beautiful girls over there.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Where you guys based out of?
Colorado.
Nice, dude. Nice.
Yeah, we're nerd-free, so we deal in biotech. You know, we follow you guys too, so we try to strive to put out the best clean genetics possible. Definitely big fans of your work.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's just me over here, just been doing the clone thing for a while and just trying to give back to the community in this digital format, you know?
Yeah, I definitely like what you're doing. Definitely see some things from your SOP that we definitely want to adopt. We're starting to kind of get interested in automating the watering process for the rooted inventory, or the living inventory as we call it.
Okay. Like,
so
how long are those rooted clones intended to veg there in the tray still to be automated in the watering?
I guess we're compliant. Like, we can't let them get over, but fortunately, we can dictate height for quite some time. We find that we can keep clones, depending on variety, for 21, 48 days, and then we notice, again, depending on variety, a loss or some sort of degradation after a certain point. So
yeah, because basically you're in veg at that point, so your plants are vegging, and you know if they're still in the 1.5 inch starter cube, and you know you're trying to get those roots to keep growing into some more moisture and stuff. It gets a little tough after 21, 28 days.
Yeah, we definitely use all the tricks. You know, we do some of the same SOPs, put a little bit of water in the liner, try to let the roots grow, but eventually they dry down more than we can water.
Mm-hmm.
We get a little bit of dead.
So
we're trying to automate that process. That way too, we can free up ourselves to take care, make more clones.
how are you? What's the design right now? The overall design of how to automate the watering? Like, is it on pallet racks, multiple levels, and like flood and drain, or what are you implementing?
Right now, lighted racks, and we're watering by hand, but we'd like to go to pallet racks that are lighted and maybe ebb and flow them. We're not sure if we want to recirculate the water or if we want to drain the waste. So we're trying to conceptualize an idea that would best fit us. We have some pallet racks and some flood tables.
Mm-hmm.
So we're definitely, we kind of saw some of your posts that were pretty inspiring. We did the square footage and the math, like it fit, 23 flats almost in a 4x8 space, and you also quantify that by height. It seems that it's like, pretty good idea.
Yeah, I mean, you're right in like if whether you're going to go recirculating or not. On the pallet racks, if you do go recirculating, ideally to make life easy with the setup, that bottom level is your res level, and you kind of miss out on that level for plants, but it's kind of your res space, so you get that gravity to help you out. Um, the if you just go drain the waste and you're flooding the 4x8s, I mean it's just quite a bit of nutrients. If you got that in check with pricing and stuff, then it should be able to be calculated and incorporated into your costs. Or depends how like creative you want to get with it. I've always had some ideas in my head with like using like misters, like those real fine little quarter-inch misters, like the produce section kind of area, and have that like tube through, um, you know, type of mentality. I haven't put anything to test like that, but the flood and drain for racks and levels of clones work phenomenal. You get those 2 a day waterings in, and you never have anything dry out.
Yeah, that's big. Like after week two, we need more than one watering. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of labor, so sometimes it's not possible. So with that degradation, if it occurs, we have to kind of pitch the clone. So
Mm-hmm.
we're trying to avoid that, kind of optimize the space as well. Like the rest of our facility is automated. We have a dosatron system, we store water. We can rely on the irrigation strategy for the mothers, but the clone room's where we're lacking, and I think that's where we want to start, just to kind of experiment. And then I think long term, we've consulted with some of the you know manufacturers of the rolling benches. We've passed by some concepts.
Uh-huh.
We thought of like a kind of bench. We thought of like utilizing cylinders that open manifolds, flood the tables, and then open up the inlets to allow them to drain. And we're trying to think about that just because we feel like the benefit of automation over at the cost of fertilizer, media, etc. Labor is just one of the most expensive
It's one of the
costs
biggest parts of the pie.
Yeah, clones we started to realize too. This is our first nursery. We've also ran our propagation program. So with the best vegging plants, we realized how demanding it is and will not stop growing. Conditions are right. It's hard to keep up with the plants too. You know.
I've heard that before too, man. Where I was managing a nursery, and you know turned it around, but the feedback I was getting, like, can you slow these plants down? Our plants are too tall, growing too fast, too big. Over the weekend, they're completely different plants. Like, we got to change our production. Like, it was a good problem to have. I always like saying that is like I like having good problems to have. Like my plants are too big. It's like that's a problem. It's like, yeah, well, what can we say? You got to embrace it a little bit. You got to accommodate to the fast growing plants. Because ideally you pass on that momentum to the next client, right, in their garden, and they're not going to be complaining how fast these plants are growing in their rooms.
Yeah, that's very true. What we notice too is when we get them in the optimized space and they're growing effectively and propagate off them, we definitely see like a reduction in the time it takes to root the genetic material. So like, if the garden's not optimized, we can see a root time from like 9 to 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's conditions are correct, we're hitting all our marks, we can see that rooting time between 6 and 9 days, depending on variety.
Mm-hmm.
So, that makes sense, right? To kind of reduce the time it takes to manufacture a product. So, but also keeping up with those plants, that system can be quite difficult.
So what's I mean, I love the nursery talk, because it's like managing and running a nursery like that's doing production to the open market is my bread and butter, dude. And like the prepping of the boxes and the amount of space that takes, the prepping of the trays, sorting an order of 1,000, 2,000 clones. You got to go through every single clone, sort it quickly in an efficient manner, and prep fully QC trays and stuff. Like it's a lot of work, dude. And doing it in an efficient manner and all the above. So all the nursery sales talk, man, I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, people are for it too, because like, the liability is there. If you're a nursery, spreading disease, and bugs, and pathogens, fungi,
Yep.
that's a no-no. So you have to be dedicated to your garden to keep it very clean. It's a lot of inspection, like you said too. And like, again, going back to what you just said, it's like every clone has to be checked and inspected every day.
Yep.
Every product, every needs to be looked at. Anything irregular, it has to be fixed. So, but we are very, very dedicated. We try to keep up our reputation. We try to make sure we're very transparent with our production practices, telling everybody that clean, the plants are healthy, we're doing our work, cleaning up the space, we're spraying the plants, we're taking precautions too, like dipping all of our hand tools in bleach,
Yep.
cleaning everything with bleach and plants to make sure nothing that goes from plant to plant is, like, I guess the best word to say, like, we're not cross contaminating anything, right?
Right.
Every cut, like a plant, we dip in 20% bleach, we make sure the hitting in the bleach for at least 30 seconds. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of detail, and it's also hard to train plants too. We've started to realize like training this process to people is very difficult. That's why we really appreciate your SOPs and the stuff that you're putting out, because it helps us kind of show the community like, hey, this is a very like important and integral part in everyone's garden, and to make
Yeah.
sure we give our customers a fair part.
And
There's a lot.
people, it's funny, man. The nursery space, the clone business has always been overlooked. That's why, like, even in how you described, it's the last room to get any automation. The other rooms were like, there's no second thought. It got done ahead of time. It was the first thing done. Like the nursery space is always like that forgotten, sector. And people sometimes underestimate what it takes to run a nursery, a production nursery that's doing consistent production multiple times a week or weekly, and you can't skip a beat, and you're doing things by the thousands. So like one mistake or one tweak off, 1 or 2%, single digit percents, end up being big numbers, big chunks of your production. So doing things the right way with multiple steps, being conscious of what you're doing, how you're handling, how you're not commingling, how you're prepping, how you're really trying to put your best foot forward on these plants to provide to somebody else is what most people underestimate of the nursery business, I would say, right? Like they underestimate it. They say, oh, making clones is easy. I can get it to root. Like I get it to root. It's a rooted clone. I'm not doubting that. I'm sure you get the plant's a magical thing. It'll root. Like it'll do its thing. You'd be surprised what this plant could do. But production at scale with all the consistent procedures to ensure you're providing the best product, that's what keeps that nursery staff working really hard.
Yeah, we definitely experienced that. I started at Clone as like an account manager, so just trying to keep up with the customer base, do sales. And I quickly noticed, just my background in cultivation, that they're having some supply chain issues, some manufacturing problems, and just some issues too, like managing living inventory, regulating orders and stuff like that. Often people placed orders, there'd be discrepancies, we have to
Mm-hmm.
change everything.
Yeah.
So we customer base, we paid attention to what their complaints were, and we really worked hard to campaign and kind of reinvent the process and make sure that they're happy. Because I've experienced the same thing too. I've ordered, hundreds of clones at a time. They showed up yellow, sick. They were crowded. They were barely rooted. Mislabeled. You name it.
Right.
Maybe a back. It's like for our industry, we're better off providing that technical support, making sure that you're successful with that genetic material, making sure that you're happy with it, kind of going above and beyond to make sure that that clone is healthy when the grower gets it and has no problems. And also, speaking with them too, and they're like, hey, just use me as a resource. I can help you with any issues that come in the future, and it's very important because the better success they have, the better for the nursery.
That is 100% spot on as far as what that like sales role, account management role of a nursery, really encompasses. I've sold for other nurseries, I've brokered for nurseries, like that middleman, like understanding change orders and last minute changes, and oh, the things are delayed, so they got to kick it back a week. They all these little things. I not ideally hunting down payments. Ideally, everything's squared up ahead of time, but the logistics, and delivery times, arrival times. If you're going up and down the state or across the state, like drivers have to leave in the middle of the night to get to you during working hours with enough time to get back in a decent hour. Like there's logistics is a whole other piece, and I'm really enjoying. I didn't catch your name, man. I didn't catch your name.
My name's Marcos Cardona.
Marcus?
Yeah, Marcus Cardona.
Nice dude. Hell yeah, Marcus. I love the nursery business conversation. If you're down, I'd love to do a dedicated conversation, do a little podcast, do a little interview. Let's talk about the business, talk about why you got into it. Dive deeper into the stories and the all the goodness, and maybe a little bit of bad about the nursery business.
Yeah, dude, definitely. I love the cannabis community. I love going on social media and sharing my experiences. Also, the genetic material, the strains, and
Yep.
just seeing kind of like stuff too. Like, well, started as employees, now we're owners of the company. So,
Hell yeah.
we're the companies who've been campaigning. We try to reach out to the community, participate in things, kind of spread the education, support people like yourself who are doing really great things that are like putting out these great SOPs, a lot of great information. Like, honestly, cloning is the first thing you should really learn. It's the most important thing. It's your start.
Yeah.
Obviously, it goes into another career, moms, veggie plants, and environment, and all these intricate things. But it's very important that you can effectively root clones, preserve your genetics, and run your garden effectively. And we really appreciate you going out there and spread these things. We're also big fans too. We'd love to continue the conversation. We're trying to reach out to you for a while as well, because the entire time we're like getting this place kind of cleaned up and
Yeah.
optimized. I was thinking,
The
it's cool to see other people's passion.
100%, dude. There's not a lot of people in the nursery space that get it and are in it and are going to stay in it and are thinking long term and are thinking with that good type of mindset. There's not too many people like that. So connecting with someone else like that with like mindedness, is what I'm striving for, man. So Marcus, dude, shoot me a DM, dude. I'll get you a calendar. We'll book the interview. Let's talk a lot more about the nursery space. I would love to travel to Colorado and do a little tour. I'm booking some tours for specifically nurseries. Like everybody does grow tours, right? Flower rooms, and I love them. I love me a flower room. Nothing against it, but this specific niche is the nursery business and production nurseries and commercial nurseries and everything we just hit on in a visual format. So I think we got a lot more chatting to do, man.
We'd love to show you around, show you what we're doing, and get into the detail of everything. Like you said, it's more than just very intricate process. You got to make sure you follow that step.
Yep.
Everything right. One thing forward, you're like, oh yep, I lost 50% of a batch of thousands. That's not a lot.
Yep. And that training and the information being digestible, people could remember steps and understand steps and get a little bit of theory behind it, to really know what they're doing and like what one little tweak, what that could do for, the thousands of plants moving forward that get done week after week after week. So yeah, Marcus, brother, this was fantastic, man. Thank you for joining our little mini pre-interview right here. Like this is just enough to be like, yeah, we gotta dedicate some time and have a deeper conversation on it.
Yeah, man. Thank you for answering. I really appreciate it. It's nice chatting with you and finally getting to see you face to face and participate in your posts because I've been a big fan for a long time.
Hell yeah, man. I really appreciate that, dude. And let's just keep doing the damn thing.
Hell yeah, man. Good rest of your night. I'll hopefully talk to you soon.
All right, Marcus. Thanks for joining, man. Have a good night.
You too, man. Thank you.
Hell yeah. That's what I love about the. I think you got to exit. It'll have a little quick delay. Hell yeah, y'all. Thanks to Marcus from Clone America, right? If I'm not mistaken, based out of Colorado. Check him out. Tell him Clone Coach sent you. We're going to have a deeper conversation. We're going to do a dedicated interview. And little FYI, speaking of interviews, I got about 9 interviews edited, ready to get posted. They're going to go on my YouTube channel, and I'm probably going to pull the audio out and do a podcast version, audio only version of the interviews. So if you want to check out some interviews with me and some industry folk, go to my YouTube channel. Stay tuned to that. Subscribe, and you're going to see a lot more interviews get posted. Let me try to catch up with the chat here. I'm a little bit behind. Let's see here. About to flower out my oldest mothers. I took 24 clones from grape jelly and wedding cheesecake almost 3 weeks ago. Thanks to your educational content, 20 out of 24 rooted in the root riots. Nice. Let's see here. Mo grown 420. Let's go back to the questions a little bit about some mother plants. Let's see here. Mo grown 420 says, how many times is too many to clone? I've seen tons of dispos cutting clones of clones. You could do clones of clones. I mean, that number of how many times is too many times. If you're taking care of the mother plant and it's able to live and be rejuvenated with fresh stock on a frequent basis, like every 90 days, every 120 days, there's fresh mother stock being rotated in, even if those came from the clones of that mother stock. The important part is keeping that mother as healthy as possible and free from pests and disease, and have a root zone that's alive, in my opinion, a live bioactive root zone that's being air pruned in some sort of fashion, whether it's plastic pots, fabric pots, and has that ability to get the roots air pruned. And yeah, make sure your mothers are in check. And tissue culture them, tissue culture genetic, that takes 6 months to a year to get new mother stock out of that and back into clone production, or mini moms to make clones. And so there's a time frame to everything, so you got to just plan out the short term and the longer term. Thanks for the question there, Mo Grown 420. Another question from Mo Grown says, what are the reasons mothers are killed? My fave in Colorado was banana split number 10. Had it going for 4 years and they killed it. It was the worst use of my life. Then got the last of it and the dog ate it. We've all lost strains that we've loved. We who out there has felt the same pain? I know I have. Let's see here. Let's see. Mo Grown says, Clone Coach definitely has all the game. Let's see. The next question, catching up on the chat here. Thanks, everybody, for joining. We're also going to get into hemp advertising and see if Trap Jesus might join us tonight. Talk a little bit about hemp and CBD products and selling those over the internet. Let's see here. Mo Grown with comment after comment. I appreciate you, Mo Grown. See what we got in the question bank here. Hemp Clone Coach from the questions from the stories. Yeah, that's a little. I thought of it. I mean, it's just a plant. The Homegrown RX says, what clone propagation what clone propagation dome brand do you use, Clone Coach? Also, what kind of LEDs do you recommend for rooted cuttings? For rooting cuttings, the VA Homegrown RX. What propagation dome? I've used Mondi's just because they're always there. I mean, with the plastics, as long as the plastic brand is matching between the tray and the dome, so it seals right and sits right and creates that seal, that's what I'm more concerned about. I don't like to match brands of trays and domes. So as long as it's the same brand, plastic is plastic kind of. But I've just gone with like the Mondi's, like without the handle, just like low profile 7-inch Mondi's. But it's pretty straightforward. The second portion, what kind of LEDs do you recommend for rooting cuttings? For my LED recommendation, go to clonecoach.com and click the propagation supplies tab. You'll be sent over to a curated list of equipment and products that I recommend, including the clone lights, the 4-foot LED strip clone lights, packs of 2, 2 of them per level, covering 4 domes, about 5 to 6 inches above the dome on that Mondi 7-inch dome that I just mentioned earlier. So 4-foot LED strip lights, cool blue spectrum. You could go to clonecoach.com and click the propagation supplies tab. You send over to a curated list of hydroponic items and do a little shopping. And I'll get a little affiliate kickback. So let's see here. Mo Grown says, what temps and humidity is the best range and light schedule? For light schedule, 18.6 for mother plants. Let them sleep a little bit, or even 24 light schedule, and an 80-degree, 70% humidity, 69% humidity. Always works. Torch Farm says, hey, Paul, hope all is well, bro. Thank you, Torch Farms. Appreciate it. Bladen Stewart says, best genetic for cloning, whichever one's healthy and whichever one you want to make a lot of. That's the best genetic for cloning. Let's see here. Catching up on the chat. Purple Mountain Wellness says, what would you assume initial startup costs would be for a small nursery? Purple Mountain, how small is small to you? How many square feet, or how many? Yeah, how many square feet? Like 1,000 square feet in total, including mother stock, pre-veg or pre-moms, cloning, workspace, storage, ancillary space, restrooms, things like that. You talking like 1,000 square feet total small like that, or what are you considering small? But as a no, as far as the cost goes, it's similar to flower room to a degree, but it's definitely 20 to 30% less in a lot of things, um, and the light and the consistency and like the space, and most importantly, the revenue per square foot of grow space, right? Like flowering lights would be the square footage there for flowering lights, the square footage from mother stock, and any vegetative stock that you would clone and make clones from, that revenue per square foot is the biggest kicker. That attached with the really good priced cost of goods, a really low double digit cost of good percentages for your costs. And if you're efficient with production, get the high quality, and you provide a really good product, um, you get those clients that keep coming back. If you got the good and you're on it every single week, the clients will keep coming back. Purple Mountain Wellness, thank you for that. Mo Grown says, are you cutting straight from the plant to the tray? So it's from the plant to a cup to soak in. It's a dunk as well, to dunk and treat the stem, the clone. And that sits in the cup soaking, and then that gets final cut, final trim, and then plugged. El Jefe Gardens, what's going on? He says, hardest job in the industry. Talking about the nursery space, if I'm not mistaken. Because I'm catching up on the chat here when we had Marcus from Clone America from Colorado join us here live on the chat. Let's see here. Catching up here, catching up. Mo Grown says, thank you so much for replying. Of course, thank you for all the questions, man. You probably got a dozen questions in there, a dozen comments, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. Marker Dylan says, do you have a favorite media for cloning? Would be great to see Trap Jesus. Yeah, man, there's still some hope to see that he'll join. He's going to try to. We've been trying to link up a time to have a little conversation. So this kind of be like the little precursor to a dedicated interview as well. Let's see here. But favorite media for cloning. When you're cloning at production, like commercial level scale, I'm sorry, and you're doing thousands of clones, I prefer pre-filled trays it's a cocoa peat based media. There's a few companies out there doing it. There's different ratios of polymers to hold things together, the moisture content when you receive them, the structure. There's some nuances between manufacturers, but a cocoa peat based pre-filled tray is my preferred choice for commercial level production. For more hobby level or small commercial production, like you did 1,000 in a day, the like Root Riot type of cubes, like that cocoa peat, same kind of more peat based but more spongy, right? It doesn't fall apart, doesn't break apart. More spongy type of cloning plug is a good one, but that's really where I kind of stick to. Thanks, Marker Dylan, for the question there. Swishes and Dosha says, are you a fan of the Athena Dome? I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan. I haven't used it personally, but there's there's, scale in it, right? 16-1 ratio. I'm sure, like everything else, there's probably some nuances. There's probably some tricks to it. There's probably some, environmental variables that have effect on it, right? Why wouldn't it? But you could definitely, if you understand where you want to be in the different stages of cloning, as far as temperature and humidity goes, and how, in my opinion, you decrease throughout the rooting process, so you harden off the material to a more stable environment. That is possible with one big dome, if you understand the three stages there. And if you want to understand the three stages, grab the Best Clones Ever SOP from clonecoach.com. Brad A85 says, do you like using AOK starter slab minis that are too many per tray? The AOK starter slabs, like the 1.5 inch, if you don't break up the slab, yeah, what is it, 98 per slab, if I'm not mistaken. If I do the AOKs, the 1.5 inch AOKs, I break them up and put them into individual cell trays of 50, usually 50 or 72 or 78. That's usually what I do with the AOKs. Clone America says, we use the VPD domes. They're best of your rooting a lot of clones at once. Yeah, see that scale factor. That scale factor. And if you understand where you want to have your clones, the parameters of your clones from beginning to end, and you can accomplish that, there you go. Let's see here. We're also going to get into the hemp and a CBD policy, the new CBD policy from Meta, which is Instagram, Facebook, and now Threads. So hopefully there'll be an ability to do some ads for plants, because the way it reads, should be able to do plant stock, advertise for sale hemp plant stock. That sparks my interest. Purple Mountain Wellness says, yes, under 1,000 square foot in total. I forget the cost per square foot, man. But minimum 50% is going to be your dedicated mother stock area. Another 25% or 30% split between rooting and like pre-veg. Then you need some, storage space, and kind of depends how it's all set up. Workspace for cloning. If you're selling stock, you need like a loadout area. You're gonna need dry storage, and you can just do pallet racks there. Keep it simple. I don't have the exact number for you, my friend. We could get on a discovery call or something and knock out the numbers. But it's very, once again, it's very cost effective, and the revenue per square foot and your cost of goods and your operating costs and your overhead are in your favor. They're in your favor. You could create sellable stock in 14 days. Selling cuts per mountain wellness. I'm sorry, 8 to 10 per for a cut at scale. You could get with the Best Mother Plants Ever SOP. You could get 15 to 20 clones per square foot, A-grade clones, premium clones, not B cuts, C cuts, no cheater cuts, every 2 weeks. So 1 square foot could give you about 30 clones, at least 30 clones per square foot. 30 times 10 is $300 a square foot. Where's my I don't have my calculator out. $300 a square foot every month. Every month out of that production. And that's just your mother area. So it's, what did I just say? It was the $300 per square foot times 1,000 square feet. 300,000 divided by 2 is 150,000. Fucking A. $150,000 worth of revenue out of that 500 square feet of mothers. Yeah. $300 a square foot, 30 clones per square foot per month at $10 per. 500 square feet of canopy space, 500 square feet of mother canopy space gives you a projected revenue of $150,000. Is that right? clones per square foot, 30 per month. You have, uh, yep, times $10 per $100 times, just double checking my math, times 500, 150,000. 150,000. Zach Grow guy, BioSafe says, keep crushing it, Paul. We're gonna do. I'm excited for a little upcoming trip. Upcoming trip. Y'all stay tuned. And there's an interview between Zach from BioSafe as well in the podcasts that are coming out on my YouTube channel. So stay tuned to that. Thanks for the support there, bud. Appreciate you. I hope you're still in here, Purple Mountain Wellness. I'm just catching up on the chat here. How long do you leave the dome on? Says M Moon 93. How long do you leave a dome on when cloning? The dome comes off day 12. It's about 12 days, but there's a dome protocol, and there's other factors detailed within that dome and the mini environment, microclimate that you have going on your tray. Let's see here. Let me catch up on the chat. Purple Mountain Wellness says, seems like you would need a lot of cultivars to keep the menu fresh. Here's another aspect of the nursery business, and I'm thinking, what do you guys think? I'm thinking about creating, an SOP version of the business side of it, of the nursery space, which is genetic selections, seasonal items, rotating menu, the logistics, the loadout, the revenue per square foot, the staffing, the training, the production, the work week, the overhead, your cost of goods, all that stuff. If you guys want it, let me know, because I'm thinking about doing it. But as far as the menu goes, you would have a portion dedicated to like your staples that are just like production strains that people want a lot of in bulk amounts. It's just a commercial production strain. You're going to have something that's unique to you and maybe catered towards craft growers, right? And you got to have the ability to produce at a commercial scale, and you got to be like having a new rotation of like things you're pheno hunting, or you're sourcing genetics from breeders or doing projects, and have this rotating menu and cater to your growers. Put yourself in their shoes, how many plants they're using, what kind of market they're getting towards, what they need to be growing. You got to have that option for them in the quantities that they need, and really be their supplier, right? Be there. If you don't want to just have one-off deals, they're going to keep turning over rooms. You want to keep being there with the clones to turn over those rooms. So put yourself in their shoes, and you could pretty easily, figure out what they need. Let's see here. Is there plant minimums usually on purchasing? Says NP Ginther. Yes, there's definitely plant minimums when it comes to commercial nurseries. It's usually 200 to 300 units is the minimum for most places. Purple Mountain Wellness, I love it. Let's keep it going. Says, what's your magic number on days before mom is ready to bear 50 cuts? For 50, that's going to be about, let's see here. Less than 90 days. Less than 90 days, probably 75 to 90 days. There's some different factors in there. But with the pruning and the proper pruning, proper time frame on that, proper topping schedule and method, 75 to 90 days, you could have a mom that's making 50 cuts. Just like you're flowering a crop, right? 8 to 9 weeks, maybe 10 weeks, roughly the same type of time dedicated as far as waiting for that initial stock. And that's from clone. But once again, depends on your clone starting material. If that's, you have a really hardy start, you have a lot of nodes already left on the clone stock and stuff, you have a faster start and parameters to trigger faster growth and stuff. Callie Ray 916 says the dome is staying on at days 12 after cut. They come off day 12, and there is a dome protocol. If you want that protocol, go to clonecoach.com. and you learn how to use the dome to your benefit. See here, D Benevenuto says, "Do you like to foliar feed your moms before cutting?" Yeah, definitely. The 2 weeks before they get a haircut, there's always like a 12 to 14 day gap between cloning off the mother stock when it's in production. And during that 12 to 14 days, they're getting multiple foliar sprays with, a variety of supplemental items like sea kelp, like compost teas, biofungicides, just sea kelps, just humic acid, just a lot of just good beneficials, good treats. You can even do light dose NPK, based foliar feeds as well. But that's where you get all those sprays in my opinion, during that growth period, undisturbed growth, just a lot of goodness and sprays and the right environment, and they're growing all at an even rate. Then you harvest all those clones. So definitely foliar feed the moms before cutting. Yeah, Purple Mountain Wellness. Yep, that's from the cut. So what do you think? That's the nursery business. If you want more, man, if you want more, that's the niche right there. So join the team and we'll make it happen. And I wanna create that business portion, little side hustle portion, something into the SOPs. Just trying to figure out how to do it. Cali Ray 196 says 916 says, "Do you think 12 days to root clones is too much downtime?" Nope, don't. Actually fits in the schedule nicely for most facilities that are doing a commercial production, like repeated scheduled production. 14 days is, fits right in, and you could plug that right in a predictable manner, especially if you got the right SOPs in place. You really got clones you could count on 14 days, every 14 days. It helps out the schedule big time. Big time. Let's see here. So, yeah, let's touch on the CBD and hemp related products real quick. Advertising. And I'm excited for it because there's a section that touches on um, that you're able to do educate, advocate, or give public service announcements related to CBD and related products, provided they don't offer any prohibited products for sale. So the education and advocating for hemp will be accepted. So content shouldn't get pulled down if you're talking or showing off hemp and advocating for it or educating on it. So that's super exciting. Super exciting. But at the top of the overview here, basics is ads may not promote or offer the sale of THC products or cannabis products containing related psychoactive components. So nothing with flower, nothing that could contain related psychoactive components. They have some photos here of bud and flower, and they're like, this is what doesn't fly. Ads that ads that promote or offer the sale of cannabidiol, CBD, or similar cannabinoid products are only allowed with prior written permission. Meta requires advertisers promoting CBD products to be certified with legit script. Certified advertisers must comply with all the applicable local laws, required or established industry codes and guidelines, including Meta's targeting requirements. Don't worry, guys. You don't have to register for everything. Just keep listening. There's good news here. Ads may only promote or offer the sale of CBD in the United States and must not be targeted to people under 18 years of age. Advertisers can apply for certification with legit script here. Let's see here. Ads may only promote or offer the sale of hemp products in Canada, Mexico, and the United States, and must comply with all applicable local laws, required or established industry codes and guidelines. Let's keep going here. So advertisers can't run ads that promote THC products or cannabis products containing related psychoactive components. Nothing psychoactive. Can't be psychoactive here. Advertisers can run ads that promote CBD products as long as they are certified with legit script and have written permission from Meta and comply with all the applicable local laws, industry codes, and guidelines. Ads for CBD products must not take must not make mental must not make health or medical claims or target people under 18. Okay, so let's get past this written permission part because that's not all that you can have the option to do. Advertisers can run ads that promote hemp products. They're defining hemp and CBD as two different things. Hemp products in the following jurisdictions only and must comply with all applicable local laws, industry codes, and guidelines: Canada, United States, and Mexico. Note that the products subject to Meta's policy and prescription drugs are not subject to this policy. Here's more on the guidelines. Advertisers can't run ads that promote the sale of THC products. That includes ingestible and non-ingestible products. So no flower there. Contain any claims expressly state or imply the featured products can treat, cure. So no making claims of any cures, diagnosis, disease, symptoms, nothing like that. So certified advertisers with written permission from Meta can run ads that promote or offer the sale of CBD products that don't contain more than 0.3% THC in the United States. Advertisers don't need written permission to run ads that promote or offer the sale of hemp products that don't contain CBD or more than 0.3 THC, 0.3% THC. Example given: hemp seed and hemp fiber in Canada, Mexico, and the United States, provided that they comply with all applicable local laws and industry codes and guidelines. Educate, advocate, or give public service announcements related to CBD and related products, provided they don't offer any prohibited products for sale. That's what you don't need written permission for. You don't need written permission to promote the sale of hemp products. So let me dive deeper here. Boom, boom, boom. Meta process. Hemp products, where the defined hemp products as. Under this policy, hemp products are products made from the cannabis plant that do not contain CBD or more than 0.3% THC. Some examples may include hemp seed or hemp fiber. They include both ingestible and non-ingestible products. So my understanding, just like it's based on the hemp bill, and my understanding of that is clones don't contain more than 0.3% THC and they're considered hemp, right? So my understanding is we could promote the sale of hemp plants on the platform, or at least display it and show it without any problems. So I'm gonna make sure that that's the case, and then if it is, let's put some gas on that, right? Real Talk French Bull says, what's an ideal ppm for mothers in cocoa? I like to use EC, because ppm, obviously there's two scales and nobody ever references which scale they're doing when they're talking about ppm. So EC is what I go with. And under like ceramic metal halide lights, it's usually going to be between 2.0 and 2.5 EC. If you're doing LED lights, you're going to be at the top end of that. You're going to be at 2.5 up to 3.0 EC, depending on the conditions in the environment and the lighting intensity. So it's got to be a harmony, right, between the light intensity, the environment, the temperature, the humidity, and the food. We got to make sure this plant is transpiring and growing, so the food's being transported throughout the entire plant, and that'll determine how much food this plant needs. Let's see here. But thanks for the question there. Real Talk French Bulls. D. Benvenuto says, do you xylitol drench moms? I do, once they're mature, and it's at the lower rate of the dosage, like 10 to 15 mils per gallon, and it's to kill off any potential pathogens and kind of do a reset. So you want to you're going to kill the microbes and kill any pathogen pressure or anything like that, and then you're going to re-inoculate with more microbes to bring the population back up. So I do it periodically. If you want to learn more about the root drenches on mother plants, definitely check out the SOPs on clonecoach.com. You'll get the free mother plant the free Mother Plant Guide, I'm sorry, when you buy the Best Clones Ever SOP. Let's see here. So, yeah, guys, that was a little bit on the hemp product advertising from Meta and Instagram. So hopefully they're going to be more lenient. Hopefully, um, you know, posts won't get taken down if they're complying and they're considered and they follow the rules for being considered hemp. If that's the case, then they shouldn't take down your content and actually allow you to give them money and buy some advertising and get that content shared to more people. D. Benevuto says, thanks for the great responses, man. Peace signs. You're welcome. I appreciate you. Appreciate the participation. If you're not part of the team, if you're not on the Clone Coach team, I highly recommend you check out clonecoach.com. Join the team today. But grab the Best Clones Ever SOP. It's beefed up. You get a free Mother Plant SOP. You get a free SOP overview video. You get a free resources page. You get access to a private Discord server, which I'm calling the locker room. We could review tape, talk strategy, talk games. Um, Also, the coaching call library. It's a private channel, coaching call library, where I'm going to be uploading all of the coaching calls that I have recorded with other team members and give that lifetime access to you as well for you to review film, review tape, look at hear other conversations with other team members and see if that helps spark a question or answer a question or anything like that. So if you haven't joined the team, check it out. Highly recommend it. Join the hundreds of others that are making the best clones ever in their nursery. And soon to be, we're going to be talking nursery business strategies and the numbers and everything behind that. So if you really want to turn over your room and start, jump into nursery space, stay tuned for more and check out clonecoach.com. We're at the end of the show here. So this is the part of the show where we do our giveaway. I'm going to have to go through the entire chat and look at everybody's guesses to see who got closest to the random number between 1 and 420, who got closest without going over. So let's see here. I think I could do a drum roll. I don't know. One more time. I don't hear it. I don't hear it. Hopefully it comes through on the recording. All right, back to it. Random number generator, random number generator. Number between 1 and 420. Get your guesses in right now. Get your guesses in right now, because once I pick that number, I'm scrolling up in the chat, so any new guesses will be at the bottom and won't get included in this week's giveaway of the 14-day quick guide from clonecoach.com. It's kind of the entry-level product. It's priced at entry level. It's a snippet of the 14-day Dome protocol process, so that you get results out of that. And if you want to get the full-length version, you got a coupon code within that to apply towards the full-length version and get that discounted from what you already spent on the mini guide there, the 14-day quick guide. So here we go, guys. Get your guesses in right now. This is going to be the last guesses coming in for this episode number 26 of Clone Questions Live. We're going to do this weekly giveaway. Let's see here. Here we go. 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 We got a little request here. No, we don't. Unless you're pushing that by accident. All right. Here we go, guys. Get your guesses in now. Number between 1 and 420. Whoever gets closest without going over will win a free copy of the 14-day quick guide from clonecoach.com. If you haven't joined the team today, join the team today. Here we go. Random number. So this week is, let me get a piece of paper. That's how I keep track. It's 368. 368. I'm moving up. Real Talk French Bulls, you were the last guest there. Swish Innovations, the last guest. Sorry. Scrolling up. The random number is 368. We got 357 right away from Real Talk. Keeping track here. Random number is 368. Closest so far is 357. See what we got here. We got 222, 47, 47. No, what do we got? Scrolling through the chat, scrolling up. If you're just getting your guesses in now, you're too late. Try next week, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 197, 324, 113, 27. Nope. 356. Nope. This week's number is 368, 17, 226. Let's see here. 114. Nope. Nope. Let's see here. 412. Nope. You're over. This week's number is 368. Another 356 guess. Nope. 373. Nope. Just over. 333. Not quite. Not quite there. 377. Just over. 271. 398. Right now in the lead is 357. That's the closest so far without going over. I'm scrolling up the chat here. 47. Nope, not this time. 210. Sorry. 276. Nope, not happening. It's 368. Let's see here. The number to beat is 357. Scrolling up in the chat here. Let's go. What we got going on? What do we have going on? Where's the guesses at? Getting to the very top here. 41. Nope. 227. Nope. Let's see here. Come on, come on. What do we have? What do we have? Where are the guesses at? Scrolling up in the chat. 188, 112, 336, 280, 95, 32, 316, 45, 199, 47, 129, 63, 134, getting close to the top here. 19, 333. Sorry, I missed one. 333. Getting close to the top. That's the top. Real talk. Real talk. Real talk French Bulls, right? Real talk French Bulls. Real talk with a guess of 357. Takes it. Takes it. This week's winner. Congratulations. Taking the winner with winning guess of 357. Random numbers 368. I'm going to shoot you a DM, Real Talk French Bulls, with the discount code for your free copy of the 14-day quick guide from clonecoach.com. I appreciate everybody playing. If you didn't win this time, join next week. Get your guesses in. Same thing, same rules. Number between 1 and 420, and we'll get that going. Congratulations to Real Talk French Bulls for winning. Got someone trying to join here. It's like the request keeps leaving, keeps deleting. Let's see here. Congrats. Thanks, Margaret Dillon. No Patio Farms. No second places. Sorry. No second places. Everybody, thanks for joining. If you haven't joined the team, go to clonecoach.com. If you want more content, go to YouTube, search Clone Coach. Everywhere you go, just search Clone Coach. But YouTube's going to get a bigger push, interviews, things like that. So there's a lot of stuff in the pipeline. So just keep posted on the YouTube as well. And in the meantime, just please share the page with your friends. If you gained any value, if you enjoy, you think somebody else will enjoy, you think somebody else will gain some value, just please share the profile with them. I appreciate everybody, and I'll catch you guys next week on Clone Questions Live. Thanks.